Hello, 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 hello. Mwah. Hello, my people. How are you? How are you this wonderful Thursday afternoon? It is, oh my God, I cannot believe it. It is the 4th of June. The month just started. It's already the 4th day of June. Where is time going? It is the 4th of June. It's a Thursday afternoon. It's in the year 2020, a leap year. And what a year it has been so far, yeah? And guys, I am sorry to tell you, but there is so much more to come in this leap year. Oh my God, just brace yourself for it, okay? It's better to be prepared, right? And I think it's all la la la, don't it? Absolutely. So it is a leap year, and it's been a very challenging year for many of us so far. And unfortunately, it's going to be even more challenging in the second half of the leap year. We went through so much the first half, and we just thank God that we were able to survive, right? We talk about the survival of the fittest. That's what it's about, guys. Survival of the fittest. Thank God we survived so far, and we will continue to survive. You understand? If we trust in our Father, our Heavenly Father. I thank you for spending this afternoon with me, coming to Omega Live with JJ Woman Without Borders, right? I do not take it for granted. I really appreciate you. I thank you. You could have been doing something else, right? But you choose to be here, and I really appreciate you, okay? Absolutely. Remember to share the link with your friends. Call your friends and family that will come and watch with you because knowledge is nothing if you keep it to yourself, right? I am sharing knowledge with you, and I have lots to share with you. And so you ought to share it with others also, right? Absolutely. Pay it forward. Absolutely. So call your friends and family and send the link and let them come and watch Omega Live with JJ, Woman Without Borders. Guys, if it's your first time, welcome to the program. I hope you find it enjoyable, informative, edifying. And if you do, remember to give me my thumbs up. Okay, remember my thumbs up. Okay. Thank you for my subscribers. Also, those who have not yet subscribed, remember to subscribe because it's not all the time that I can send out the link, right? And so you have to subscribe and hit that notification bell so that YouTube can inform you when I am live, and so you can just come onto the program. Okay. So you know this piece, for those of you who have been with me for a while, I give you the news and then I give you my 2 cents on the news, right? What's happening. I can't give you every single details and every single thing, that, but what I give you, that information is usually the latest that is available on that particular subject. Yeah. And not only that, but I also give you accurate information, fact checked information, right? Absolutely. Because there is so much misinformation out there, as you know, right? And no information. And they say misinformation is better than no information. And I do agree on, at least, there's a grain of truth in the lie, right? Absolutely. But no information is not good at all because my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. So it is important for you to know, right? Absolutely. And so without further ado, let me give you the news as I get it. I give it to you. So Jamaica now has, well, sorry, I'm so used to saying that. And we do have, yes, one new case of coronavirus, but we haven't gotten to there yet. So Jamaica has now recorded its 10th death as a result of the coronavirus disease COVID-19, according to a press release issued by the Ministry of Health and Wellness. The latest death is of the 87-year-old female from Kingston and St. Andrew, who was critically ill in the hospital. Remember, I've been telling you guys about these two persons who were in the hospitals who were critically ill, right? For a while now, they've been critically ill. Well, one of them has passed on, and that is the 87-year-old female from Kingston and St. Andrew. Yeah, condolences and prayers. They have not released her name, but condolences and prayers to the family of this woman. Yeah. Meanwhile, there are now 591 confirmed cases of the COVID-19 and 361 recoveries. So yesterday it was 590 out of the 33 samples that they came, but one came back positive, and so we now have 591 confirmed cases of COVID 19. The new case is a 27-year-old female from the parish of St. James. Yeah, so this now pushes the tally of in St. James to 12. So now 12, so St. James now has 12 confirmed cases of COVID 19. And this person is also member of the Adventure of the Seas. Remember the Adventure of the Seas that came into Montego Bay, guys? That thousand and plus who they said had no um COVID-19 on board. And this is why it's important to test all the visitors that come into the island, right? Because you will say you don't have it, but then when push comes to shove, you find out that you do have it. So, anyways, um, this person is a crew member from the Adventure of the Seas. So that means now our imported cases, guys, have gone up to 92. So let me give you the details. Let me give you the other, for my big data people who love the big numbers. Let me give you all the details, right? So, excuse me. Total test samples to date have now gone to 13,616 as a result of the 209 new samples that was done in the last 24 hours, right? So they did 209 samples, and so that pushes the samples up to 13,616. Of that number, 12,903 tested negative, and as I said, we have 591 that are positive. We still have 33 pending samples, guys. So again, by tomorrow, I'll have a different figure for you, whether with negatives or positives. Yeah. Uh, as I said, 361 have recovered, right? And we have 18 persons who are hospitalized. We still have that one person, guys, who's critically ill, and we have one person who is moderately ill. We continue to pray for them that if it is the Lord's will, that they will recuperate, right? Absolutely. And so we have 275 persons who are in isolation, including home isolation, and we have 169 persons who are in government quarantine. So the numbers have gone down significantly in terms of government quarantine and isolation. But guys, where are these people? We are not getting any information concerning these people. All we're doing is giving numbers. And why do they choose what to give us? If we're talking about misinformation, guys, and no information, right? Because they change their narratives and based on what they think. You see how they try to manipulate us into thinking what they want us to think about? So, for example, even with regard to the 10th death that we have, do you know that when the Prime Minister was giving out the announcement, he announced the recoveries and he announced even the one confirmed case, but he did not mention that the 10th person had died in that same breath. It happened in that same 24-hour period. It was a part of the Ministry of Health press release. Did not even mention it. So you see, they change their narrative based on what they want us to talk about. What are the talking points that they want to give us, right? And that's why they try to manipulate us. How we think, manipulate our thoughts. You understand, and tell us what we should think. So they don't give us the information that we're supposed to get. You see what I'm saying to you guys? Are you observing what I'm telling you? I've been telling you this thing for months now. You see what I'm saying? It's true, right? So here it is now. This person died, and they didn't even want to announce it. The fact that this person had died. And so here it is now. We have so many persons who are now out of isolation or out of government quarantine, and we're given no information about these people. We don't know, who they are, what happened. I mean, they were in isolation, they were in quarantine for a reason. So is it now that they're okay? They have recovered? If it is so, okay, why is it that they're not reflected in the number of recoveries if that is the case, right? If it is that they have been sent home, um, from out of government quarantine and they are now gone home. We were told that they were going to be geofenced. We need to know the name of these, not the name of this person, but number of persons who are being geofenced. We need to have that kind of information also, right? We're not going to let them fall through the cracks, guys. We're going to keep on this, you understand? Yes, they have to understand that just can't just throw numbers at us like that because we actually look into the numbers and we understand what is happening. We're not idiots, you understand? And stop treating us as though they think we are. I hate when people try to insult our intelligence. Don't you hate when people try to insult your intelligence? Right? They try to keep you uninformed, right? Unlearned. They don't want to spend money on the educational system because they want to keep us unlearned, because they want to throw things at us, and we should just accept it because they say so. Yeah? Doesn't work like that. Not at all. Yeah? We are all human beings put on this earth. Every one of us have different functions. We have different functions, but we are all one. We are all the same, created by the one Lord God Almighty. And we are all equal. And I'm gonna talk some more about equality in a little bit when I get to another story. So let me continue with the big numbers so I can move on. Absolutely. So of course, the numbers of contacts of confirmed cases have not changed. That's still 217. Local transmission still 27. Alarico still 235. still 20 under investigation, but now we have 340 females, right, out of the 591 and 251 males. Yeah, okay. So, um, this evening, Dr. Tufton is going to be giving us more updates, right, on his usual weekly program, the COVID conversation that he has weekly. And then he gives us information and even have us sometimes listening to persons who have recovered from the COVID-19. Yes, so this evening at 6 p.m., the Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Christopher Tufton, will give his briefing. Stay tuned for that. And of course, tomorrow I will have some more information based on what I've heard in this briefing today, just in case you won't be able to watch it. Yeah? Absolutely. Okay, guys. So that was that. Moving on. So, before I move on, let me give you some more big data. Yeah, I have not done it for a while, but I should give it to you today. The breakdown of the COVID-19 cases by parishes, right? You want to know that, don't it? Yeah, man, give me the thumbs up. Let me see the thumbs up if you're enjoying what I'm saying and you find it useful and informative and you want to hear more. Absolutely. So, the breakdown is as follows. Hanover has one case. They were squealing about that one case and saying that case does not belong to them, but it has been ascribed to them. It's official. They have one case in Hanover. Westmoreland has 5 cases. St. James now has 12. There were 11 for a while, excuse me. And this new person, this one Adventure to Seas crew member, bring the number to 12 in St. James. Trelawney has 2. St. Elizabeth has 6. St. Anne has 27. Manchester has 15. Clarendon has 35. St. Mary has 25. Portland has 13. St. Thomas has 4. And Kingston and St. Andrew, guys, have 137. You notice I'm not going to talk about it now. I'm just pointing it out to you that Kingston and St. Andrew has 137 confirmed cases of COVID-19. And we hear nothing. We see nothing, right? But every day, right, we hear about Kingston and St. Andrew having confirmed cases of COVID-19. Right now, this other person who died is from Kingston and St. Andrew. Yeah, and of course, St. Catherine, the leader of the pack, with a whopping 309 confirmed cases. But of course, we know that the workplace cluster, Alarica Call Center, account for majority of that number with their 235 confirmed cases. All right, guys, so continue with the news. And the country is in uproar after news of a mentally challenged man who died in January in a penal institution, unnourished and filled with bed sores after being denied his constitutional right of a trial by his peers. He was charged with murder on February 4th, 1980, deemed unfit to stand trial at that time, and was held at the pledge of the Governor General. The story came to light during the quarterly media briefing held yesterday by the Independent Commission of Investigations, INDECOM. So let me give you that INDECOM story basically before I give you my 2 cents on that, guys. All right, so the Independent Commission of Investigations, INDECOM, is raising fresh concerns about the treatment of mentally ill persons in prison. Using the case of Noel Chambers, that is the gentleman I was telling you about, guys, who died in January 2020. Using the case of Noel Chambers, who was incarcerated at the Tower Street Adult Correctional Center in February 1980 and who died recently, that is January 2020, right? Who died recently after spending 40 years in prison without being tried. Head of INDECOM, Terence Williams, told a media briefing a short while ago, this was yesterday, that action must be taken immediately to address this issue. Williams noted that the Department of Correctional Services is reporting that there are 146, this guy, 146 mentally ill inmates who are now in prison without being convicted. They had no trial, right? And 9 of them out of that number, they say, right, at least 9 of them are fit to plead. right? They are fit to plead. I'm going to give you some more information about that. Continue. Quoting Mr. Williams, he said, the situation of mentally ill persons detained in prisons, and in particular those deemed unfit to plead, is a matter which should be concerning to all parties responsible for the care, detention, and safeguarding of citizens in the custody of the state. The cases highlighted and the wider situation is indicative of a disregard for local legislation and human rights conventions, which are unambiguous in the matter, Mr. Williams said. He said INDECOM is recommending several changes that are in keeping with local and international legislation on the matter and to address the root causes of the issue. So among the recommendations that he is given is this, are these. One, the passing of legislation that persons held at the Governor General's pleasure be automatically held at the court's pleasure. The onus should not be on the detainee to apply for this change. An examination by the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution, the DPP, of all the cases for those unfit to plead to determine whether or not there is still a viable prosecution available against these accused persons. That's number 2 recommendation. Putting systems in place to ensure the timely review of unfit to plead cases, such as the establishment of a review board to ensure re-enlisting by the court when the inmate may be fit to plead. The reinstatement of the forensic psychiatric ward of Bellevue Hospital, or the establishment of a similar type of facility to house those deemed unfit to plead. That's number 4. Such an institution should be properly staffed with varying specialists and areas for recreation designated, all of which will aid in the treatment provided. Also, the hiring of full-time psychiatrists. At the moment, guys, there's only one psychiatrist, 146, and only one psychiatrist. The hiring, and it's not even a full-time psychiatrist, as I understanding in a sessional situation. Excuse me a second. Thank you. The hiring of a full-time psychiatrist and nurses to ensure adequate treatment is administered and the duty of care upheld. Okay. Another recommendation is thorough training of correctional officers to lend support to the psychiatric staff. Where there is no family forthcoming to assume responsibility, strict care ought to be taken by the correctional staff to ensure the correction rules are followed. That's another recommendation. And last but not least, upon their release, there should be a written apology by the state and compensation awarded for the breach of their constitutional rights. In the event of death, such as what happened with Mr. Chambers, right? These remedies should be awarded to the family. Guys, let me give you my 2 cents on this. I have to give my 2 cents on this. I mean, did you hear that story? I mean, it's all over social media. If you're on Twitter, that's what they're talking about. I mean, guys, seriously. Seriously. I mean, do you believe this story? I mean, even the PMP came under fire because they were they were tweeting that they were in solidarity with George Floyd in the US while something like this was happening in Jamaica. The reality is this, guys. Yes, we sympathize. I've not said anything much about this George Floyd case, for a reason. You understand? And what happened was atrocious. It was sad, and so on and so forth. You understand me? However, if I hear them say, Pastor Christian in Pitney first, and you dance a yard before you dance abroad, yeah, we are in sympathy with what is happening overseas. But let me tell you something, guys. There are more atrocities happening right here in Jamaica than what's happening overseas. Do you know that? Right here in Jamaica. It's as if we are having the proverbial next step upon by the system in which we are living. Yeah. 40 years, guys. Let me explain. Let me put it in context for you. This guy went to jail at the age of 41. Young guy. 41 is young. Many persons don't even get married yet at 41, right? They try to set up themselves, put everything in order, get them house and so on and so forth before they get a wife, right? They have to have something to give the wife. So they put the house in order. That's scriptural. And so for you men who also they would think women must be doing these things for you. Let me put it straight for you. Okay? I'm digressing for a second to get back to the point. You understand? For you men out there who think that it is scriptural. The Lord God says, you men must put your house in order. Okay? Prepare yourself for your wife. You bring your wife to your home. You don't go to her home. Yeah. Anyways, continuing. I digress. Back on the story. So here it is now. This guy, 41 years of age, committed murder. Yeah? He committed murder. And, well, there was a trial. So we can't say he committed murder. We have to say it was alleged that he committed murder because he was charged, but there was no case. There was no trial. So we don't know whether he was guilty or not guilty because he did not even plea. He did not put in a plea because at the time he was not fit to put in a plea because of mental illness. Right. Now, here it is. When cases that occur, as I heard from Mr. Terence Williams, they said basically that you are at what is called the Governor General's pleasure. What this means, as I understand it, it was explained by this attorney, um, what's his name again? General Jordan Ferran's attorney, the gentleman for Jordan Ferran, right? That attorney, I heard him speaking, and he was explaining what it means. And what he's saying basically, what happens is that, okay, so because the person is mentally challenged, the person is not fit according to the Constitution to put a plea in to say whether it's guilty or not guilty, because you have to have a person in their sound mind to plead guilty or not guilty, right? So therefore, you're now at the Governor's General pleasure until an assessment is done, and after the assessment, they determine whether or not you're fit to stand trial. As I understand it, guys, this guy, Mr. Noel Chambers, underwent 4 different assessments, right? 4 different assessments, and he was deemed fit to stand trial. He was deemed fit to be able to say, I'm guilty or not guilty. Yeah, 4 times. 4 times, guys, 4 times. So let us say once per year, since he spent 40 years in there, right? On average, once a year. So every year they did an assessment. Every decade they did an assessment, and he was found competent to stand trial. And yet no trial date was set, guys. This guy is in jail, right? And he is not. As I understand it, he was a Rastafarian. So as a result of which, he did not eat what they gave him in the correctional facility to eat, or some of it at least. You understand? Because they're not thinking about his diet and his preference and his religious belief in terms of how they feed you, right? And so as a result of which, he was starving. So they said his body was emaciated. That's what they said. His body was emaciated, right? So he was starving. Okay, he had bed sores. That means whatever he was sleeping on was not conducive for sleeping arrangements. He had bed sores, hard surface, very hard surface, right? For you to develop bed sores, hard surface, absolutely. Okay. And this guy, guys, stayed in the system for 40 years. He died in January of this year, 2020, January 2020, this leap year. He died at the age of 81. 81 years of age. This guy stayed in jail for. Doesn't that cut you to the core, guys? Doesn't it cut you to the core? It cut me to the core when I heard this story. What a waste of a life. God, we gotta do better than this, man. We have to do better than this. Now, I hear some people are blaming the Governor General, but I would not be so quick to blame the Governor General, because look at this, guys. This guy went into prison February 1980. He went there February 1980. The GG who we have in power right now was not the GG then. You understand? So my question though is this, right? When a Governor General is sworn in as a GG, right? When he's sworn in, do they give you like a list and say, here is a list of persons who are at your pleasure? Right? Because obviously that doesn't happen, right? Because I would fail to believe that the Governor General would get a list of persons who are at his pleasure, right, and not do something about it. And as we hear in the news just now, as I read, right, there are 9 other persons who are similar to Noel Chambers, right? They are fit to stand trial, but no, this has been set for them. And they have been in the system, guys, for over 30 years. Over 30 years. 9 of these persons have been in the system for over 30 years without a trial date being set. Come on. This cannot be right. Hmm? While you're there sympathizing with George Floyd, sympathize with Noel, okay, Mr. Chambers. He is a human being. A person is innocent until proven guilty. Yeah? It's time we stop treating our citizens like this, man. It's full time we stop it. We can't live like this. 146 mentally challenged persons in the jail. And here it is, you're making a big thing. Okay, it was in the news that this man who is mentally challenged, he was supposed to be extradited to go to New York, sorry, because he committed murder in New York in 1993. Remember that story? I gave it to you, right? Go into my library and you can watch the episode, right? And I told you last week about that. And they have not extradited this man because they're saying he is mentally challenged. So he's unable to stand trial. Yeah? So for years, he has not, from 93 until now, right? So for years, he has not stand a trial. But murder, there's no statute of thing there on murder, right? Statute of limitations on murder. So therefore, he can stand trial at any point in time as long as he's found fit to stand trial. Right. But here it is. We have 146 inmates right now, mentally challenged, we have abandoned. We have 9 out of them who have for 30 plus years have been there, have not stand trial. Yeah. And we have one after 40 years has died because he died January. He went in February 1980, died January 2020. That is exactly 40 years this man has been in jail for without a trial by his peers. His constitutional rights have been taken away from him. Yeah? No, that can't be right, guys. Cannot be right. Our father don't like that at all. Our daddy don't like that. We're not being right. We're not doing right at all, guys. It's a developing story, guys. As you're gonna hear a lot more about this, a lot more to tell you about it. You understand? It's when I hear these things, it cuts me to the core. Seriously, how we treat each other. You know, are you talking about white on black? I mean, white treat us the way we treat ourselves, and even worse, we treat ourselves. We treat each other worse than how the white treats us. I'm talking about white people treating us less than. We treat each other less than. Huh? This is black on black. This is not white on black. Yeah? Come on. We need to do better, guys. Continuing with the news. This is a sad story, guys. This is what happens when people can't hear those. That's, they say who can't hear feel. That's what happened in this case. Listen to this one. So, if anyone had told Natalie Carty that Tuesday, June 2nd, would have been the last day she saw her 15-year-old son, Raheem Campbell, alive, she would not have believed it. The poor English, don't worry about the poor English. I'm just reading the news from the Gleaner. It's the Gleaner's poor English, not mine. But as fate would have it, a river trip with 4 friends in Christiana, Manchester at about 1 p.m. on Tuesday turned deadly for the youngster. They said him go out into the water, say him a walk out, and them say when him go down. And them see when him go down, Carty told the Gleaner, recalling what she was told of the tragic events. They stretched a piece of bamboo give him, and one friend was trying to hold on to him, but he was pulling that one down. As they were stretching the bamboo, they said him eyes just turned over and him just went down. An alarm was raised, and men from the community rushed to the boys' assistance, and after some time, they were able to retrieve Raheem's body from the river. Carty said that she had previously warned Rahim against going to the river, and a number of persons had lost their lives there over the years. She said that when she last saw him on Tuesday afternoon, she did not know that he was heading to the river. Oh, that's not him. Sorry. Yeah. I see him almost every day. Sorry about that, guys. The feed is fluctuating. I see him almost every day. He goes to Troy High and he lives with my sister who has a shop near me. He would stop here every day and wait until my sister was ready. They would both go home together. That doesn't sound right to you, don't it? Yeah. Yeah. Um,